and we just start recording for YouTube. Hi guys, I'm Punobis, and although we normally do zero prep games, the people have asked, well, what if we want to have a little bit more planning? What if we want to build out a world a bit, and we want a game in that? So I'm going to spend a half hour, or maybe a bit less than that, going a bit slower through some of what I'm thinking, some of what I'm working on, and flesh out a world enough. And then hopefully we'll get some people together a bit later today or in the next few days, and we're going to start running games in this world and in a few other things, like how would you use the Incarnate System to augment play for an official thing I bought from that publisher over there? How do we use it to respond to when the players go off script looking for this or that, or doing generally what players do, which is what we don't expect? So we're going to start here. As always, I recommend we open up our complete list of cheat sheets because we're going to be using that a lot. I've already selected one of our free maps off of the website. In this case, I'm going to use Earth-like 4. And I think we're going to start our campaign on the tip of this continent over here. I see a river and I see a mountain. I think that's going to be a decent place. Gives us some various terrains. And then we'll close this out. Right here, this pin will give us a mountain and a river, it looks like. Yep. So this is where we're going to start. So I'm going to make this a bit smaller so we have some space to work with and zoom out a bit more. And then close this down. I just had an idea of wouldn't it be awesome if we had a dwarf city kind of built in underneath the mountain itself. I kind of like that. And starting off with the dwarf city would be a great thing to do. So I'm going to come over into our NPC creation, which is cheat sheet number 12. And then I'm going to go down to our NPCs by race. And right here we can see that right now we have it set to do all sorts of things. So we're going to change that. And we want to only give dwarfs. Well, no. A dwarven city wouldn't have only dwarfs. Let's do 1 to 90, it's going to give us a dwarf. But we're going to have some other races living there with the dwarfs. Elves don't like to be underground, so I'm just going to do 1 chance of an elf. I don't think half-orcs would get along with dwarfs, so we get rid of those. Half-lean, so nice and short. Let's go up to 93, so 92 to 93 option. It's a construct race homunculus there, we'll get rid of that. Humans, I like humans. We can live underground pretty decently well. Let's go up to 96. Lots of race options here, and we'll keep adding more in the future. It's at least a good start. Maybe a bit more of this. Let's go more human. Let's go up to 99 and just give us a small chance of a gnome on a crit. So we now have set up, and we're going to get a mostly dwarf city. And that's set, so we'll change this when we go to another city, so I'll just drag that down now. Now I need to figure out what size of city I want. I don't have a great underground map, but we do have some no tree maps. Let's take a look at a small city. Let's see. Okay. That could work. Telling them to imagine that beyond the walls we have a cavern. It's not the best of maps, but it's free. And long term, I may end up making my own map and plugging in here or finding something on the website, or on a different website and paying for, or other things. But this will do for now. So we're going to have a relatively small city nested down into the mountain. And this is where we're going to start. So we now need the city itself. And let's go a small city. That's probably a bit bigger than what this map is, but we're going to change the map out later anyway. It's just something to get us started with for the first few sessions. They'll probably go some other places. Pushidu. Pushedu. Pushidu. Pushidu. Okay. Sometimes that syllable breakdown I have it generate makes it easier to pronounce. Pushidu. So we're going to drag this over into the corner, and that's going to make it easy to get back here. Now it says randomly generated here, primarily halfling with an initial blow class. So I'm going to say that this is primarily dwarvish, and it pulled from a different table here. It's just the characters that are controlled by that table. So dwarvish or dwarven? Dwarvish is the language, so is dwarven the race? Small details that don't exactly matter. With a human was my second thing, so I'm going to say a human underclass. Okay, and we have some import export. I can go through this and tweak it because I don't think we're growing that many pine trees underground. Although maybe there are some pine trees higher up on the mountain. That would make sense. So as we're going through here, some sort of a plague, that's good to know. Unfortunately, they have a guild of healers. So that right there is going to make a great crest of the guild of healers, sending them off to get whatever ingredients they need to solve the crest. Okay, and we already changed this up above, but I'll change it here too. Normally I generate this on the fly, so I don't do this much customization. I just go with whoever it spins up. Okay. Now, I'm going to come over to our stories. I want to keep this organized. So I'm going to create a new category. I'm going to stick a number in front because I want it to stay on top of my categories. I'm going to call it Pushido. I'm even going to label it Story and City just so that it's easy to find in there. And I'm going to stick the same thing here. A number sits at the top and call it a starting city. That's going to make it easy to navigate. I'm going to come up to the new generated, and by dragging this over into the Pushido, now it's going to be in the Pushido category. And when I click populate, it's going to make a ton of walls, and it just generated all of this for us. Now, if they were exploring the city, we may need any number of things that we can generate on the fly. But I'm just going to focus on the most likely the places they're going to go. And the most likely to start off with is the commercial district with the taverns. So we'll generate that. So far we have a jester's lair and a restaurant. I'm just placing these pins around town and I'm making them green so that the players will be able to click on them and navigate by themselves. I'm also, because I forgot to do it a minute ago, going to open our map back up. I'm going to do a couple of things. First of all, when I zoom into the map that we're using, this one here, I'm going to stick a pin down into my quick action bar so it's quick for me to get back to. Secondly, I'm going to stick a pin in the lower left of this city map so it's easy for my players to get back there. So they can just click on that to get this map back, which would be good for navigating around when they want to look at things and remember what it's called. I'm also going to come up into here. I'm going to call it Pushido, so when they're looking on the map, they can find it by just looking for the name. Okay, so we have those, we have an alt gallery. What type of alt gallery did it give us? And yes, so types of alt galleries. Historical battles, including Ryan's Fall. So now I'm going to stick that in the back of my mind. There was some sort of a great battle when Ryan, whatever that is, fell, and for some reason it's of particular notice to the dwarves here. So let's see who all's in here. We have two artists. Specifically, we have Lufan, who's a middle-aged dwarf. And we have Dungel, a rather young dwarf. I'm actually going to tweak this a little because I think it'd make more sense if she was his daughter. Which means that they'd have to be of the same guild. So I'm just going to drag same clans. I'm just going to drag that over. Now, if they happen to go in here, this is some really cool stuff we could have here. wants to live life to the fullest. He's probably gone to these various sites that he's painting to get inspiration for painting the ancient fights. This is an interesting character. He's of excellent quality, but she's only average. She's training up underneath him. I like this. The players may come there, may not. We'll see. So that was the art gallery. We're putting the general store. I'm sticking most of this commercial district along the main road. As we add in more things, we'll scatter them around a bit more. But I figure the most likely places they're going to encounter force will be along this main road. I'm also clumping together the various taverns, because the taverns tended to be clumped together into a district in older cities. They still do that today. Bars tend to like to be near each other. So here we have a button that, as I was showing yesterday, you can use these to play Sirenscape. I could play some sounds for us, but don't really feel like that here in the YouTube video. So we have here a tavern with only one taverner, no occupants. If they come in here, they may end up with a quest to drum up some support for him. My patrons are moneybags that specialize in separating them from their coin. Well, one solution to this would be for the players to get rid of the tavern owner. Because that doesn't sound like a very effective method of doing anything, really. Oh, fun stuff. And over here, we have a much better filled out tavern here. This is thriving business. Built out of glass. I wonder what happens for ball fights with that. You can change that, build out of brick, stone, whatever, but we'll stick with glass because I think it's funny. Well known for their grilled lizard and beer. Okay, so here in Pushidu, maybe they go lizard hunting in the caves. I could send them out a quest if they came in here to collect some of that lizard, and would pay them well for it because we obviously need a lot of lizard to have all of this food in here. Ooh, the assassin. He has been sent here to kill a member of another organization. We have that healer organization here, and we have that quest of them going out to get something for that healer organization. I think we should give them a building. So, to give them a specific building, I'm going to come back over here and try and figure out what type of building the organization would be in. It's a healer's guild. I think they're going to be based out of a church. Believe it or not, modern hospitals trace back into all these churches and things. So here we have an empty church, and yeah, the generator doesn't give us much to do with the church there. It's mainly for us to fill out because that's going to vary so much from one game master to another table that I didn't want to get into that type of detail. Let's move it over here. Main base for the whatever organization. Now, what organization do we want there? Well, let's go back to our complete list of cheat sheets and go up to the master cheat sheet that has our organization generator there. So we know there's a healer's guild, but this is going to give us some suggestion. So it's a middle powered. Say gods, speak with them carefully. They span most of the states, and most of this map. This would be a state level map. They span most of that. Power is split into cell groups and the main hub. Okay, so it's going to be in other cities as well, so they'll encounter it elsewhere. So maybe the quest is to go to this healer's guild in another city to pick up the medicine and just escort it back safely. Why would that be difficult? Why would we need someone to do that? Maybe there's some bandits that have been intercepting the last few bits of medicine, hence why they've had this outbreak now. Gather ingredients to cure plague. That fits perfectly with what I'm already thinking. This is going to be the main quest I try and shunt them off onto, but we'll see. Players are very agile, and they could end up doing something else entirely. Cool. So we now have this healer's guild here. We're going to stick that in here. We've already pinned the church. We already have the guild. That being said, we need some people to put into the guild. So let's go back to the cheat sheets. And we're gonna find in here NPCs by background. Now we're inside a church, so let's find some rabbis. Ooh, we also, I'm remembering a minute ago, we saw a rabbi we already generated. Okay, there he is. So this guy's already over there in the tavern, but we're gonna put him in Hero's Guild as well. I'm gonna move his name up to the main line, because I'm figuring this guy may end up being rather important. Okay, Resolve and Protect. I'm liking this guild already. Average wealth, neutral good. This sounds like a Hero's Guild to me. Purify food and drink as a signature spell. This is amazing. This is... Sometimes the random generator does better than I can do. Actually, a lot of the time. And here we got another one. And this one is going to be... Slatey. Also lawful good. We're having a lot of dwarves in here. I think there'd be... Because this goes beyond just the dwarves. This goes with the entire district. So the question is, what are the races in the state? And at this point, I'm going to stick a D0, i.e. I'm removing the randomness from the random race. And I'm going to want a human from a neighboring city. So we need a 99 in there. And now this generator will give us a human. Parrots. Excellent. And don't forget to pin Torga. So we now have, and parrots here. I'm going to add the lore section here at the top. Okay. So we have a lot of things going on here, and we have several possible quests. They could be possibly trying to make this tavern profitable by some means. I would try and get rid of the tavern owner and find someone else to recruit as a new tavern owner. Personally, I think that's the best way to go. But they could do whatever they want with that. But the main quest is there's a plague going through the city. So everyone's going to be a little bit sick. When they start asking why everyone's sick, we're going to tell them that the bandits have been intercepting a lot of shipments lately. Okay, so then we're going to send them out, and we need, back on the main map, main map is lower left. Okay, so they need to go to another city that's going to have the medicine. I think a great place for another city is going to be over here. I don't care that much about this city yet, I just need to place it and have it make sense. So let's get a new blank group. I'm going to stick this into for now. This is going to be our second seed that later on, as they level up a bit, we're going to be moving more towards. Anyway, and now we're going to do the sage generator. It's on the rivers. Let's do another small city. We'll Lee up. Primarily Dragonborn. Nice. I would accept that. So we're going to go back to our random race. And we're going to set to primarily Dragonborn instead of Dwarf. So I'm going to make this be... We're still close to Dwarven city, so I'm going to give them some ranks. Let's go an 80 to 90 is Dwarvish. And then primarily Dragonborn is going to be 1 to 79 then. Okay. And now I'm going to populate these. And we need a map for this city. So let's come in real quick and get battle maps. And we're down near the river, so I'm going to do lots of trees. Okay, let's do a medium city. Yeah, that one would do. That one would do. We're going to place that pin there on the map and make it visible for them to see. Also going to counter pin it, back pin it, so that they can travel back up easily. Now these red pins, if you want more detail, they open up more detailed maps, and then they'll cross pinned automatically for you here in the lower left. Okay, so this is all set up now. And now I just need to have here in the say it needs to be called Willopi. And we need to have this pin so it's easy to navigate there. And now the only thing of significance in this say that they're going to care about is they need to go to another church here. So I'm going to grab the cheat sheet and go to the buildings again, and we're going to do a new church. So this lists not the people in this particular, in the city we were just in a minute ago. This lists the people here. So I want another rabbi, and we're going to have a dragonborn then in here as well. So let's get by background. Mycone? Did I accidentally make the Mycone a possibility? They should not be a possibility. 1 to 79, 89 to 90. Okay, called from random race, which is this table. Now I'm going to look into the tables real quick and see how... Oh. That's how we got. I'm rolling a D0 with no modifier. I should be glad they gave me a Mycone. With that, it shouldn't have given me anything. It should have just popped up in there. Well, oh well. Yep. Anyway, so we're all going to stick in the Mycone just because I think they're hilarious. They're a mouse-based race. So you don't have to play with them if you don't want to. You just need to make sure you're actually rolling a die. Oh. Oh. I meant to click generate. Okay. So as you can see, I do make mistakes as well, especially when I get distracted. So there we have Drasdillan. That's all Dragonborn that we wanted. Excellent. So she is going to be the one at this church that they're going to be trying to get to. So the quest is to come here and get something. We now have someone for them to talk to. We have a pretty well established guild with lots of members to be in the different cities. Close this all down. I could, at this point... I forgot to pin the church. The good news is, because I have it all in the group, which I should probably kill all... Let's do it as a 1. Willopi. Nearby city, just to make it easy to navigate. Cool. So now we're looking at the map, and we have a church there that I let them see. Okay, and they are going to see this when we start off, when they start adventuring beyond the city. Okay, very nice. I am going to backtrack a little bit, coming here to Bushido, to this church. Ah, I forgot to pin the guild over there as well. So Gaunt and Sati, or actually in this particular church at this point. The others are just members of the guild in general. Okay. So this is the quest I'm trying to put them off on, which is why I'm spending the time really planning this out a bit. And I could have done this on the fly, but the details here and the foreshadowing become much better because I took the time to slow down actually playing this out. With that all done, we need probably one good encounter on the way there and one good encounter on the way back. The way back is going to be the bandits trying to steal it. On the way there, let's just have them attacked by animals. So, starting off with a complete list of cheat sheets again. Let's get the battle maps. And this time we're actually going to be using them for battles. And we have road enforced. And let's also do a bridge crossing. So the bridge crossing is going to be on the way back because it's going to be smart, intelligent bandits laying a trap. And it's just going to be a creek going through here, we'll say. And I'm going to leave it as a red pen because I don't want them to see it yet. Okay, on the way there, they're just following the road. And they're going to get ambushed by animals. And let's go into encounters. And I could roll up on these and get a random encounter that happened in the forest. That'd work. But I'd rather come into the true random sheet where I can say I want a random encounter of beasts. Now this is a little bit less predictable in that it will be stringing it together procedurally instead of it being just what I want guaranteed. So let's see what happens here. I'm aiming at a CR3, which should give us either a CR2, CR3, or CR4 based on that first roll. In this case, we have a Cave Bear. Cave Bear and Polar Bear have the same stats. Cave Bear, a Boar, and a Giant Spider. And I'm going to go into our tokens and change that. Well, I don't want to change it to B for Bear. I could change it to C for... If you own other stuff, like, I could turn on some various other things to give us some additions, but let's just do letters. Let's check that C over to make it more of a cave bear. Okay. Now they're going to be walking down the road, and I'm thinking a giant spider is going to be hanging out in the tree. They're probably going to see the ball being chased by the cave bear. And because I'm making these enemies, that's going to be a bit weak for the party, so I should make it a bit stronger. Let's actually make it 2 cave bears chasing the ball through the woods. So when they come across this, they could try and save the ball. They could try and kill the ball and then scare off the bears to get their own meal. They could try any number of things. And this giant spider is probably not going to come into play unless a relatively injured character happens to walk close to this tree. It's just going to kind of be chilling up there. I have now explained why these are here, at least in my mindset. I'm going to leave the pin here so I remember what's there. Now let's figure out what loot they would get from that. Well, we have the loot cheat sheet. When they do that, I'll come to the loot cheat sheet and, well, I can do it now. Why not do it now? Train copper. So that ball had been rustling around and eating some trash that happened to have some copper coins. If they got the ball, they'll find that inside. Maybe they'll end up collecting some bear meat and selling it in town. I'll give them a little bit of extra for that or something like that. Okay. Next is the bandits. So again, I'm going to come into the true random because I want a humanoid, and that's going to give us the better option now. And again for CR3, because that's the party that I'm aiming for here. And they got 4, so they got super lucky, and it's just 1 priest. If there's a group of bandits, it's going to be more than that. I'm going to edit this some. And because it's just, we're going to use the priest stat block, we're going to call him Bandit. The increased stat block is relatively simple. It's a spell castle. But he's mostly going to be cure wounds. He has 4 level 1 slots. So he'd be able to heal them a good amount. Let's call him Bandit 1. Okay, and let's... Because he's mostly a healer, we want to give him several things that go with him to buff him up a bit. So we're going to come into humanoids, and this lists off all of our humanoids. So we're aiming for somewhere between a 3 and a 4. So we want a total of somewhere between 700 and 1,100 XP. And this bandit counts as 450. And it's an inexact science. I think I'm going to give it a bandit captain. And they've recruited a Drogo. Well, I have a problem that the Drogo recruited them because they're intercepting the medicine going to the Dwarvish city, and the Drogos aren't all that happy with the Dwarves. Makes sense to me. So the problem they're going to ambush them is they're coming back to town, and I'm going to have the bandit captain pop out from behind the woods with the Drogo, because those are both all melees. We're going to stake the healer back a little bit, but close enough that he'll be able to get in there and heal them. We have kind of a bottleneck going, but since this is just a creek, they'll be able to wade through this relatively easy, just as difficult terrain if they want to get flanky. If they're careful, I'll introduce the bridge to them on the way there, and they'll be doing a bunch of walls and there's nothing. And on the way back, these guys will be in position to attempt to ambush them. I like that. And of course, pin it, so that we remember. And it's relatively powerful guild sending them out. I want that to be the treasure hoard. So this is just going to be another loot cheat sheet. It's going to be a more difficult fight. So I'm going to give them battle table, and hopefully we roll up higher to get some better stuff. That first time... I'm going to adjust this because I want to give them a better chance to gain something decent. And that's one of the cool things here. So when you see something dropping that you dislike, you just redo the table. Now, when I redo a table, I'm probably going to change this in the master copy as well to buff everyone's loot drops. Okay. Yeah, that looks like good loot for a few bandits. And that Scroll of Cure Wounds is going to be on the bandits. He's going to use his spell slots. If they don't kill him by then, he's going to use this Cure Wounds. We're doing that here. The Cure Wounds scroll, and then they won't get that. But if they kill him off before then, with what, 4 spell slots he had? 5th level spellcaster with 4 1st level slots, 2 2nd level slots, and 2 3rd level spots. Okay, so he has 7, 8, 9 slots. So if they don't kill him in the first 9 rounds, he's going to use the scroll too. If they're doing their job well, they should get the scroll. So we are now set up for the one-shot. I have the path that I'm expecting them, but we already have the world set up, and it has a couple of other things they could do. We have a lot of stuff in here, and if there's ever anything that they go rogue, actually, I'm going to go back to a random race and get rid of the Dragonborn again. Although now that I know there's a Dragonborn city nearby, I'm going to give them... Dragonborn don't like being underground. I'm just going to give them a 78, 79 on that, and give the rest back to the Dwarf. Oh. 90, and 89. And then we'll give the rest to the Dwarf, which is now going to be a 1 to 88. Okay. And now we're set up so that anything I generate, especially because I'm going to flip back to Pushido, anything I generate is set up to be in the statistics for the city we're starting off with, and it's going to automatically go into here to stay organized. I'm now ready to end the session. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see if we have enough players to do a pickup game here immediately. If not, we should be doing it in the next few days. God bless you all. Bye.